as well. I want to show you what's happening, however, in the Middle East. We're going to start here. The signature black flag of ISIS militants flying in another Iraqi town. Apparently, the terrorists have seized the oil-rich, is it Baji? After clashing with the Iraqi forces. Chaos is happening all over the world, not just on our borders, but overseas as well. Now, these guys are targeting the oil refineries and the drilling sites. They have not yet managed to seize full control of them, and that is good news, because once they do that, it is going to make your gas prices much, much more expensive. What does the violence and instability do to the price of oil? Tonight, we're going to take a look at that and an in-depth look at what you can see at the gas pump, or expect to see in the gas pump, your energy prices, but also what we can do about it. By the way, as you know, do you remember when gas would go up and then come back down? They have been persistently high throughout this administration. The days when the gas and the oil prices would go up and down, those are over. And if you think it's painful now, just wait until the terrorists have control of Middle Eastern oil fields, and they're setting them on fire. Saudi Arabia yesterday said it looks like the Middle East is heading towards civil war. That is a shortcut to $200 a barrel oil. And everybody's way of life, not just ours, everybody's way of life, dramatically changing. Now, it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to be dependent on the Middle East. We have abundant energy resources right here underneath our feet, waiting to be extracted and waiting to be used. Now, here is the really amazing thing. America in 1939, we weren't building ships, we weren't building tanks, we didn't know how to build airplanes. In 1939, the Germans had mastered this. They had been building them now, and Germans are pretty good at making things. And they had mastered it, and they were pumping them out like crazy. We had to dedicate ourselves and say, you know what, we need to move in this direction. I'm not saying this is going to be easy. I'm not saying this is something that even really seems logical at this point. But in 1939, becoming the leader in aircraft, that wasn't in the cards for America either. But when we put our heads together, things change. It's time to make things change. This administration has chosen a different course. Fracking has been discouraged. The Keystone Pipeline has languished in limbo. It has bipartisan support for its completion, but Harry Reid continues to block it on the Senate floor. It's not getting a vote. The EPA has added regulations making production more difficult for the coal plants. We were one coal fire plant away from having the grid go down entirely this last winter. One. Next winter, we're not going to have that many coal plants. God help us if it's cold. They're now requiring these plants to use expensive carbon capture technology, put limits on CO2 emissions at the coal-fired plants. We're not going to have enough energy to heat our homes next winter. It's going to get bad. And now with the Middle East on the brink, it's utter chaos. The solar dreams, I mean, as much as I love solar panels, that's great. I mean, even Ray Kurzweil, he's told me, don't do anything with solar panels yet. In 5 years, technology will change. It's coming. It's just not here yet. Windmills, that's a fairy tale. That'll never work. We can barely power calculators right now with solar energy, let alone the entire country. But that actually, in time, probably will be where we get a lot of our energy, not windmills. But now is not the time to abandon traditional energy sources. As soon as that technology is here, I'm all for it. Now's the time to make sure that we can remain free, that we don't have to intervene in the Middle East. We don't have the resources. We don't have the passion for it anymore. And they're going to make the case that all of this is in our national interest. I know, because I was there. I've had that argument used on me, and I've used that argument with you. No more. Not another bullet, not another body, not another plane, no more. If we change our strategy, not only would we become more self-reliant, but we would create jobs. It would help our economy, and the stats don't lie. The Keystone Pipeline alone would add 42,000 jobs. I want to show you a map of the United States. The map of the United States. Okay, green is where incomes for households are rising. White is stable, and red is decreasing. So where is the most green? You'll see it's all right here. little pockets over here. What's that? And what's happening here? Well, what's happening right up here in the Dakotas? Jobs are booming. Why? They're pumping 1 million barrels of oil every single day. 1 million barrels. To give you perspective on that number, only one other state is producing that much oil per day. I wonder what state that might be. Texas. Here in Texas, we are drilling and the economy is expanding. North Dakota and Texas, rarefied air. Again, let me give you a perspective on 1 million barrels of oil every single day. There's only one Canadian province, and a grand total, out of all the countries in the world, only 19 are able to produce more than 1 million barrels every single day. Okay, crude oil is on the rise here in America, which means if we act and we act fast and we act as a nation, we don't need to suffer the $150 a barrel oil, which will come. We don't have to bow down to a Saudi prince to get there. We could be. Even the mere threat of this would put oil back down into a reasonable place. The answer is right underneath us. All we have to do is unite and get it.